Welcome. I'm Paul Kapuska, editor of Stadium Tech Report. Our guest today is Mike Beteag. Mike, welcome. Why don't you tell our viewers who you are and what you do?
Excellent. I am the CTO for ocV, which is now the umbrella company for the Anaheim Ducks, San Diego Gulls, Honda Center, and a number of rinks that we have throughout Southern California as well.
Great. And what is your responsibility there?
So my focus is on this new entertainment district that we're building. It's a $3 billion project that surrounds the Honda Center. We are currently in the planning phase. We break ground early next year.
And what would you say is the most pressing business issue that you have in this development process right now?
No, that's great.
Just one.
So the key is, and you know this world well, balancing what we need to build, but coupled with the complementary sponsorship that goes with that. And so currently negotiating across a multitude of vendors in the tech stack, trying to figure out, well, how can we work together mutually beneficial? I'll throw out the 1 + 1 = 3. We're trying to create value there where it's, yes, you're going to get your name on signage, but how can we work together? A couple of folks we're talking to, the intent is they're going to come in on property and create an executive briefing center and innovation center so that we can showcase their work. And so the key is we get our technology solution, hooray, they get a sales opportunity, and that goes back to the 1 + 1 = 3, essentially from a partnership standpoint.
That's great. Being in the design phase, it may just be sort of a lot of planning right now, but what are the top technologies you were looking at deployment?
Yes. So my comment is always somebody else is going to tell me to stop putting glass in the ground because that's where we're going to start. I'll just keep stuffing it, but somebody in accounting is going to say stop that. So we start there, but then obviously wireless technologies. Wi-Fi is going to be critical, which is fabulous to have ownership that is focused on technology. Coming from my vantage point, that's who I'm leaning on. And so all that to say, the network is critical. That's where we're starting, right? Because if that doesn't go well, we're in trouble. We have a couple of partners that are helping right now in the planning, including AmpThink, ME Engineering, Aspen Venues. The backbone is just about done, thank goodness. And we're going to start trenching early next year, so that's good timing. But that's kind of problem one, and then the entire software stack is another exciting opportunity right now.
You know, it's interesting because you're talking about a whole different set of technologies, but when you have a building, or in this case, buildings, and space, how do you integrate the technology into that, into the design and into the build?
Perfect. So there's a few things we're working on right now. So this premise of a digital twin, essentially starting early with integrating everything that's being built and documented under a visual interface, so kind of a 3D version of what that campus looks like. So we're starting there. We have 72 spaces essentially between buildings and common areas. And so that's an important piece. We are working with PricewaterhouseCoopers currently on our technology plan, so universal data platform, an integration platform, an API library to basically work throughout the entire environment. How do we process that? How do you apply ML and AI and use that as well? And so those are some of the areas we're really focused on right now.
You know, whenever there's a new build or a new thing like this, I think one of the hardest things is trying to look into the future, because as soon as you talk about stuff, as soon as you buy something, you know, the next version's already out. What do you foresee in both the short-term and long-term future, and how are you incorporating that into
Really good question. Really good question. So what's unique about our environment here is this is a kind of an ownership legacy product, or project specifically. We're not going to build it and sell any piece of it. We're going to run it for decades and decades. And so if you're going to have operational excellence in this environment, we better plan and build this correctly.
Right.
A lot of the things we're thinking about, we have to have flexibility in the future. So going back to glass on the ground, I never want to worry about capacity again, right? Which is, I don't know that that's an actual thing you can do at this point, but my statement is always there's never going to be less need for bandwidth ever. It will continue to rise. And so some of the things, in fact, with the folks at AmThink we're talking about, this is almost a 10-year project. So we're going to roll out Wi-Fi 6 in our existing building next year. And then we have an 8 to 10-year run of refreshes as we continue phase by phase. And so the planning for the technology refresh is also critical as well.
That's great. All right, are you ready for personal questions?
Sure.
All right, Mac or PC?
Yes. I am platform agnostic.
You are.
Android, iOS, Mac
That's
OS,
the next question.
PC.
Android or what do you have in your pocket? Android or iOS?
I have iOS.
Okay.
I have an Android though as well.
Yeah, but
and
you
even
keep
worse,
it in a dark box.
I like all technology, honestly.
Great. And a question about events. What is the one event you've always wanted to go to or see but haven't?
This is good. I'm going on the 26th, barring COVID complications. So the Foo Fighters are playing at the Forum on the 26th. Even better, I have twin boys, 15 and a half years old, who have never been to a concert. This will be their first concert.
They'll rock out.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I've been wanting to see them a long time. So that's what first comes to mind. I could probably come up with others, but
That's great.
excited to see the Foo Fighters. Oh my goodness.
Thanks for being with us today, Mike. Appreciate it. Again, I'm Paul Kapuska with the Stadium Tech Report.
Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate it. Take care.